So let's start again. So for today's project, as you can see, it will be just get a joke. If I open my dev tools and I go to my element tab here, as you can see in the beginning, I have nothing. So those are static because all the time they will be there. So I need a bottom and I need a div with ID root. That's all I need, nothing more. If I go to the network tab here and I click on fetch, here, it will show me the request I am making to get data from an API or from the backend. Now, when I click on this button here, click, what's going to do here, it will send a request, as you can see. If I click on this one, it will send a request to https://v2 joke API dev joke any. And after that, I will receive some data, as you can see. You can see the response also as a JSON string. And of course, I will need to create a function to get this joke here. So that's simply how it is. So it's not that difficult project, but whenever I click on this button, I will send a request to the API, joke API, to get the data. And after that, I need to render this data. I need to create a component function to render this data. Is that okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so how can we do that? Well, I already have the same template we are using, but I've added a new folder. As you can see, this folder is called APIs. Now, normally when we create an API, so when I make a function, this function will send a request to the backend. It's a great idea to put them in separate folders. This folder, we call it APIs. And as you can see, it has special icon here. So your VS Code should give it special icon. If you have material icon, if I'm not mistaken. So we have APIs, the rest are the same, all of them. It's just here we will add APIs. That's it. Fine. For the CSS, I've already taken it from the website, so I don't want to rewrite the CSS again because our object is not CSS. Other than that, everything is the same. I didn't change anything. If you go to our index.html here, I have a title which is called get joke. I'm just linking my init.js. And I'm linking also my style.css. So let's go to the website here and let's try to inspect it. Right click, inspect. So what do I want to do? I need to create a button type button with ID btn and I say get a joke. And also I need to create a div with ID root. So that's only the two elements I need. So all I have to do they have a container? No, they do not have any containers. They're directly in the body. So I just need to create a button with type button like that. And here I will just say get a joke, and I need to give it an ID. So let's give it an ID. An ID here, it will be btn. After that, I need to create a div with ID root. So it's just say div ID root, and that should be good. That's all I need. Okay, so for my HTML, as you can see, I just have a button. And this button, I have an ID for it. Then I have a root. Whenever I click on this button, I need to send a request to the backend to get the data. And after that, I need to create a function which will render this data inside a component function. Then I need to append it here inside the root. So voila, okay, fine. Let's first go to our, as usual, let's go to our data. What do you think our data will be? Do we have any data here?
API?
Do we have any data here?
No.
No. Where's the data is coming from?
From an API?
Yeah, so the data coming from the API from the backend. But DOM, of course, I have a DOM, right? So let's create our DOM and just say const DOM. It will be equal an object. Let me export it directly, exp as normal default DOM. So what do I need to select? Of course, I need to select the bottom and the root. That's all I need. So I will just can say either button or btn document dot get element by ID, and the ID it will be btn. The second one here, which will be root, I'll just name it the same idea, root. And here's the same idea, document dot get element by ID, and the ID it will be root, as you can see. So that's simply my DOM element. Is it okay? Just two elements. I got my DOM. I'm exporting my DOM. Data, I currently do not have the data. Why? Because my data will come from the backend or from the API. In it, currently, I did not create anything. So what will be the event here? Let's start with the event. What do you think the event will be?
Click the button.
Click on the button. So maybe I can name it, for example, a get joke event, for example, get joke event. Get joke event.js. So let's try to do that. Of course, to get the joke, I need to import my DOM here, right? Because what I need to do, I need to select the button and add event listener to it, right? So I will need to import my, I need to DOM. Okay, so I did import the DOM here, .js. And now what I need to do here, I need just to create a function, const, get joke event. And here it will be just arrow functions, that's it. Now, let me disable this one so you don't get confused. Voila. So get joke event. Okay, fine. What do I need to do in get joke event? I need to access my button. So we'll say dom.btn.add event listener, and event, of course, it will be click. And when I click, what should I do? What should I do when I click?
We have to create a handler.
Yeah, so we can just say get joke handler. Well, of course, I don't have get joke handler now. Let me just export it directly because I need to export it. Export default get joke event. Voila. Okay. I don't have this one, so I need to let's import it first. Oh, actually, let's create it first. I need to go to my handler. New file, it will be get joke handler.js. Voila. Let's create it. Const get joke handler. It will be just a function for now. Voila. And here, let me just export it. exp get joke handler. And now I have it, so I can import it inside my event here. Voila. Here, import get joke handler. Voila. So that should be fine. Now my handler is okay. My event actually is okay. My handler, I just created one which is empty for now. It's fine. And now what I need to do here, I need really to import my handler inside init, right? Do I need to or not?
Yes.
So import get joke event. And that's my get joke event, as you can see. I'll just say .js. And here, do I need to execute it or not?
Yes.
Why?
Because otherwise it will not work.
Because it's a function. So I need to execute it. Voila. So if I go to the event here, it's a function. I need to execute it, so it will go to the DOM, go to the button, and add event listener to it. Okay, fine. Now let's check if our handler working correctly. I don't know if it's working or not. So let's log something. Let's just log, I don't know. Yeah, just here, get joke handler. And now if I go to my page, so open my index.html using live server. And if I click on this one and I refresh, it doesn't look like it's logging anything.
You have to click or not the button?
You are right, actually, because the event is click. You are right. So yeah, let's just click on the button. I thought it's load event, but you are right. So it's click here. I'm clicking on the button. I'm getting get joke handler. So everything is being connected. Everything is good. My DOM is fine. My init file, I import my get joke event. I execute it. That's good. My event here, I am importing my handler, and everything is fine here. Now, what do I want to do now in the handler? I don't really want to log get joke handler. I need to do something. What do you think the logical step will be here? What should I do? What will be the first step? What do you think? First, I need the data, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
It's not difficult, huh?
So you need to fetch the data here?
Of course. So the first step here, what do I need to do? I need to fetch the data, let's say, fetch joke data. So I need to get the data. That's the first step. The second step, I need to render the data. And by render the data, I mean I need to create a function which takes this data and create some DOM element, because now I don't have any DOM element for this joke. So I need to create some DOM element. And after that, as the last, what I need to do here, I need just to append this component I created, or this component function I created, to the root. Append DOM. Let's name it DOM element. There's a DOM element which I create. So those are my steps here for now. Is it quite clear? Yeah, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so first step, I need to get joke data. Okay, cool. Now here, I need to go to API, because all my API or request to the API data, I need to create it in this file. So just here, and I will name it get joke, or get a joke actually, but I will just name it get joke for now. Get joke.js. So fine, how can I create it? Well, I will just create a function. So const get joke. It will be a sync function, of course. Why do I need to make it a sync function? Why do I need to make it a sync function? Why do I need to make it a sync function?
It returns a promise.
Yeah, because really it will return a promise here, and I'm trying to send a request to the backend. So either I need to handle this data, because this task, it will be a synchronous task. Either I need to handle it using consumer, then and catch, or I need to make my function using async await. I think async await, it will be much easier, and that's the reason why I am using this one. Of course, I need the URL, so I can go to my previous project. Actually, let me go to network, and when I click on the button, oh no, that's my project. Let's go to the network, click on this one, and it should give me the URL, and that's the URL, as you can see. To make sure, I can just open any tab, and I just tab this one, any, and voila, as you can see, it gives me joke. Now, this API is a little bit special. Why? Because each time I send a request, it will give me a different joke. Notice, each time I send a request, it will give me a different joke. That's how the API has been designed. So the backend developer, the guy who created this joke API, each time, that's the reason why it's end with any. Each time I send a request, it will try to send me back a different joke. So now what do I need first? I need the URL here, so I can just say, if I want to, I can just say const URL. I can just save it in a variable if I want to, or maybe I can just say const response. It's equal to what it will equal to, const response, it will equal to fetch. But before fetch, I need something, right? Before fetch, I need something.
Await.
Yes. So I need to use await. I need to say await like that, and voila. So that's my response. Cool. But if you remember yesterday when I told you, all the time when we are using a sync function here, I may get an error. And all the time I need to put my code inside try and catch block, right?
Yes.
So all I need to do now, cut my code, and let me use try and catch. Voila, and that's my try and catch. I will put my code inside the try. For the catch, it always will be the same. It's a function here. It will receive an error. I will name it ERR. And here, all I need to do, I need to console.error the error in case I get an error. Voila, that's good. Now, here, what should I do after that? I can just log the response now. So let's try to log the response. Log response. Of course. Now, what do I want to do? I need to export this API, and I need to import it in my handler, because if I don't connect it to my handler, it will never be executed. So let's go to my handler, which is this one. And now here I need to import, according to my logical step here, first I need to import my API. So I need to say import get joke, and it will be from API.get_joke. So I say .js. Now I want to execute this function here. So I can just say const data here, const data, because here I didn't finish yet my joke, but I will make it later on, it return my data. So get joke like that. Here, I'm not finished yet. Okay, I'm not finished yet, but I will do it after that to return my data. For now, I'm gonna return 1 for now, just return 1 only, just a number. Fine. Now this here, this function, I told you it's async function, right? What does async function? So what does async function return when I call it? What it will return? What does async function return?
Promise.
Okay. So because it return a promise, I need to make this function also async. Because why? I need to use a wait here. So it's a promise, I need to wait for it. And voila. So let's go to our website now. That's my code. Let's refresh. And if I say get a joke, and as you can see, I have my response, voila. So let's go to the network as well. Well, I'm sending a request to http:/v2 joke API. Everything is fine. The status 200 successful. That's great. I have a preview actually. Let me see here in my console. Should have a preview. I have a response. That's good. I have the initiator, which is a function calling this API. If I click on it, it will take me to my functions. That's really nice. Okay. I'm logging my response. Now, I need to make sure that the response.ok is okay. Because here's this Boolean. I told you normally sometime, not all API give me 200 if they are successful. Some of them, they give me 200. Sometimes they give me 201 if I add a new record to the backend. So here, not all the time it will be safe to use status 200. So, but this one here all the time it will be safe. So I can say response.ok. If it's okay, if it's a Boolean, if it's okay, then I can proceed. What do I mean by that? Well, I can go to my API now. Where's my API? This is my API here. So what I can do here, I can just say if res.ok, which is a Boolean. If it's okay, if it's true, then I'm gonna now return my data. Else, what should I do? What should I do?
Show an error.
Yeah. So if response.ok is okay, then what I can do, I can just say const data, it's equal to await, and then now I need to pass my body. So I say res.json, as you know, voila. And here, all I have to do now, I can just return my data. So that means I'm getting my data, everything is fine. But if I did not get my data, I want to go to the catch block. And in JavaScript, you cannot just go to the catch block. If you don't have an error, you cannot go to the catch block. That's how JavaScript works. In Python, it's different. It's automatically go to the catch block. But in JavaScript, it's like that. So I need to throw a new error here. And I can say, for example, fail to fetch a joke. And that should be fine. Unnecessary else, don't worry, it's fine. What they're telling me here, because I'm returning the data here, they tell me you don't really need the else. You can just do it this way. And they're right, of course. Why? Because here I'm return. Return means that means exit the function. So if I get this one, it will exit the function. But if this one is not correct here, it will go and throw an error directly. That could be done possible as well, but I will make it simple. I will not make it complex. So I will add the else again. And voila, that should be good for me for now. So my API now should work perfectly. Return a value at the end of async arrow function. Yeah, maybe here I can just return null, just so I don't have this problem here. Let's just return something. They want me to return something here. I need to return something, so let's return this one. Voila. Doesn't want. Fine, let's just ignore it. Fine. Now, after my API is finished, now I can use my API and should actually now, it will not log my data, but it will return my data here, if it was okay. So now I'm going to my handler. I am calling my API. Now what I can do here, I can just log my data. Of course, if I receive the data, I will log my data here. And let's see if that will work or not. So let's refresh. Click. And voila, I'm getting my data here. So as you can see, my data are an object with some different property. As you can see, I will go to my network. It will be better for me. network status 200, type fetch, everything is fine, and the size here 1.3 kilobyte, it take 110 milliseconds. If I click on this one, I have all the data, status 200 successful, and I will get my data. I can just look here, as you can see, as a JSON string. So I'm getting my data, which is great. Now I have my data. The problem is I have my data, but having the data is not enough, right? I need after that to render the data. How can I render my data? So yeah, fetched my data as the first one. It's finished because actually I am fetching my data. I have my data now. That's good. As you can see, I log my data. I have everything, which is great. But now I need the second step. The second step here, I need to render my data. How can I render my data?
You need to create component function.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. So all I have to do now, I need to go to my component here. And here I can just say, for example, create joke.js. Create joke.js. So let me click on this one. Let me create my function const create joke. And here I will pass my data. So I will need the data. If I'm gonna create a joke element, I need to render my data. So let's just here exp, voila. So simply I need the data. So here I need this data. So the easiest way, it will be just to import my component now, component function, which is create joke. And now here I will call my create joke. I can just say const maybe I can name it joke DOM. And now I will call my function and I will pass the data I have. Of course, the data here, it will be an object. Or maybe I can name it just joke data. It will be better actually, joke data like that. So that's my data. I am passing my data now to my component function. Voila. And this component function, I need to return a DOM element. Why? Because after I return the DOM element, now I can import my DOM and I can append it to the root. So let me import the DOM. Voila. So that's my DOM. So whenever this function is being executed, this function needs to return a DOM element. And then all I have to do now, after I did this one, I can just say, for example, DOM.root.append. And I need to append job DOM. That's great. Okay, so what do I need to do now? Well, I need to work on my component function. My component function receive an object, which will be the data. That's great. So let's go here. Let's go, where is it? Here. It will receive an object, and this object, it will be joke DOM. And now here I need to create some DOM element. And remember, at the end, I need to return what from this function? What this function will return at the end? What should it return? What my create component should return at the end?
DOM element.
Exactly. So it will return a DOM element. Why? Because I need to append it to the root and show it. So let's see here what type of data we have. And after that, let's try to, either I can build the component as I want to, or maybe I can just go to my old project and see how it look like. So let's click on this one. Let's see what's going on here. Inspect. Okay, so as you can see, I have a root. And then here for the joke, as you can see, that's the element I need to create. So first I need to create a div with ID joke container with class joke. And then I need to create an h2 class with class category, and then add ID category band, and then add the BUN, whatever here, the data I am receiving. Then I need to create the type, the setup, the delivery, the flags. And flag is, as you can see, it's UL, and I need to pass all of those. I need to loop through all of those to create them. I need to create a p tag here and p tag here, one for the language, one for a save or not. So the first step, I need to create a div with ID joke container and class joke. So let's go and do that. So here is just a container. A container is a div, right? So I will say const container document.create element. My element, it will be a div. Now here I need to add a class. What was the class name? It was joke container, right? Yes, no? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to stick with the same classes because why? Because I don't want to, if I don't use the same class, my CSS will not be applied. So that's the reason why I'm sticking with the same classes. Because as a class, I need to get an ID as well. So I can just say here container dot ID, which will be equal to, I'm not sure, let's see.
Joke.
It's joke. No, it's
No.
joke. The ID is joke container and the class is joke. So my mistake.
Mhm.
So this one here, it will be joke container. Yeah, but it's not joke, it's joke container. Voila. It doesn't matter, you can name it whatever you want to, but I'm sticking with those because I am using CSS. So that's the reason why I need to use the same. That should be fine. Okay, so the first step is finished. Why? Because here, as you can see, I need to create a div. And inside this div, as I have an ID joke container, and then I have class jokes. That's fine. Now I need to create an H2 for the category. So in my data, I should have a category. And I will just create a class and also ID. Category pan. Why is they name it category pan like that? Not sure. Let's try to get it again. Actually, they are the same. So these are static all the time. Okay, let's create H2 and give it a class category and ID category pan, whatever. So first I need a class. Okay. So here, let's create this one here. Actually, I need to see my data all the time. So let's go and see my data. So I have category. Voila, that's my category here. So my category here, it will be Christmas. If I refresh again, my category, it will be dark. My category, it will be programming. So I need first to render this category here. Also, we are creating here, in my example, I'm creating an H2 for this category. So let's create another H2. So I'll name it here category. Category, const, category, is equal to document dot create element, and the element will be H2. Now here I need to check which ID. So I need to add an ID actually, and I need to add a class. Category dot class list dot add, but I'm not sure about them if they are correct or not. So let me go to the old website. So the class is category. This one here, it should be category like that. And the ID, it was category pan something. Yeah, category dash PUN. Dash, I think P was capital. Yep, now it shouldn't be capital here, but yeah, I'm just trying to do the same as in the CSS. Or maybe I can just go to my CSS here. Let's see, where is category pan? Category pan. Do I have category pan? No, I don't have any category pan here. Yeah, I think it will be safe if I change it. Okay. Category, it's an ID, so category PUN, which is here. Okay, so let me get rid of this one. It shouldn't be capital, should be lowercase. Fine, we create the category. What should we do else? After the category, I need to add here the type. So here I need to know what's the type, and type here, it will be a p tag. Let's see.
Samir, what about the inner text? Will we add that later?
You are right. I should add the inner text here as well. So let's add the inner text. So I say category dot inner text. And here it will be, of course, it coming from my joke because joke data has a category like that. Fine. So if I go to my data all the time, I have category. If I refresh, I have category all the time. Now the type here, if I refresh, I have the type also. Type sometimes is single and sometimes it's two-part, as you can see. Single and sometimes it's two-part. Now notice there is a little bit difference actually between the two. If the type is two-part here, I have setup and I have delivery. But if the type is single, I think I have only one property, not both of them. Let's click. click, click, click. Come on. Yeah, wow, it was single. So single here, as you can see, I just have a joke here. So actually the data are a little bit different depending on the type. So if the type is single, I just have a joke here. That's it. Just only joke. But if the type is two-part, notice, I will have setup and I will have delivery. So I need to make a distinction between the two. Okay, because when the type is something single, I will only have joke with one text. But when the type is two-part, I have two-part actually. I have setup and delivery. And I need to take this one into consideration. Is that okay? Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay. And here, what do I have after that? Let's go to this one. So here I should have type. All the time I have type, by the way. If I want it or not want it, all the time I have type. If it's single or two-part. So here, two-part single, also I have type here. Which type here is single joke. So what I need to do, I need to create a p tag. So let's create a p tag. And that will be type, right? So let me say type. So here you can just say const type. It's equal to document dot create element, and the element was p tag, right? Yes, no? What was the element?
Not sure.
How can you not sure? It was p tag here, as you can see. It's p tag.
Now we are sure.
Yeah. So the class here, it has a class called type. So let's add a class. And here it will be type dot class list. No, I will add a class list better. Dot add, I think the class was type, but just to make sure, voila. And I think it has an ID as well. The ID here type two-part, but I think the ID is changing if I'm not mistaken. No, what did I do? So the ID here is two-part, get a joke, get a joke, get a joke, get a joke, get a joke. No, it's all the time it's two-part here. Why do I name it ID two? Well, just ignore it. I will give it another ID. So let's give this one an ID. And maybe I just name it type only. Voila, should be enough. Only type. So far we have the container. The container has an ID called joke container. It has a class called joke, which is fine. Then we have a category. The category is H2. It has an ID. Let's actually name it category only. I don't want to call it this one. The ID category should be enough. And the class here, its categories as good. The inner text here, joke.category. And here I need to add the inner text, which will be type. Inner text, it will be equal to joke data.type. That's fine. For so far here, I have my category, I have my type. But if you remember, depending on the type, either I will have setup and delivery or not. So now here I need to make a distinction. If the type is single, here, if the type is single, let's do it again. So if the type is a single joke here, I should have only joke. I shouldn't have delivery, setup and delivery. But here is just hiding, as you can see, it's not a good idea. So depending on the type, if the type is single, I just need to create just one p tag only. And this p tag, it will be joke or something like that. But if the type is two-part, then what I need to do, I need to create setup and delivery. So how can I do that? Any idea? What should I do? I should check the type, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
So I say if type here, let's see, if type, or actually type, it will come in from joke data. So joke data dot type, if type is two-part, and it was two parts, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure it's two-part or not. So if it's two parts, then I need to do something. If it's not two parts, that means it will be what it will be?
One part.
Single.
Yeah, single. It will be single. So yeah, either it will be this one or it will be this one. Let me go back to my data and let's click here. Let's see this one here, and here the type is, what's the type? Here is two-part, as you can see. Just make sure. Actually, there is no S. It's just two-part like that. There is no S like that, two part, voila. That's nice now. If my joke is two parts, then I need to create setup and delivery. But if it's single type, then I just need to create only one p tag. Okay, let's go to the element again. Now here, if of course it will be two types, then I need to create setup and delivery, both of those. So let's create both of those. And here, if it's two parts, so I say just const. It was setup, if I'm not mistaken, setup. It's equal to document dot create element, and I think it was p tag if I'm not mistaken, right? And of course it has, I will give it an ID setup. I will give it a class also setup. Let's just check if the class is setup. Yes, the class is setup. I give it an ID setup, class setup, and now I need to insert the text. Here's the inner text, so I can just say setup dot inner text. It will equal to joke dot setup. Why? Because simply if it's two part, let's go here. If it's two part like that, I will have setup, and also I will have delivery. Okay, and as you can see, the delivery, the KKK, yeah, because it's not single joke here, it's two part actually. Oh, no, I'm looking at something different. So yeah, I need to create both delivery and setup. So let's go here, that's single joke. Now I should have two part, yes. So I need to create setup and delivery, both of them. Okay, that should be easy. Let's go now and create, I need to create another p tag here. So I will just add setup, and here it will be delivery if I'm not mistaken. Delivery. It was delivery if I'm not mistaken. Now I need to just to add this stuff again. I need to give it an ID, and I need to give it a class, and I need to add the inner text. That's it. But I need to make sure the property was delivery. Yeah. Just so I be 100% I didn't make any mistake.
Samir, is it a good practice to name ID and class the same name?
It's not about good practice or not. It doesn't matter, because this is a class, this is the ID. The idea, I'm using the class for styling, and I'm using the ID just for JavaScript. You get the point?
Okay.
You can do that if you want to. It's fine. Okay, that's great. Why it's great? Because now if I have two part, I will create these elements. That's super great. But if I have a single part, which my joke, it will be single, then I have to create only a joke. That's it. So here I need to create a joke only. Joke. Why? Because the single one, and I need to get single one. That's not single, that's not single, that's not single, that's not, oh yes, that's single. If I have a single, I just have a joke here, as you can see. I don't have setup and I don't have a delivery. I just have a joke here, which will be great. I'm just gonna put this one inside a p tag, that's it. So I need to do the same exactly here. So let's repeat it. Yeah, I'm creating an element p tag. I will give it ID and class joke, and voila. Now, what should I do here? Well, let's come to the container here. I will come to the container here, and now here I will append, and I need to append the category and the type. Why? Because category comes first, then the type. So I appended the category and the type. Now here, if I have this joke, which will be two parts, then I'm taking my container and I'm going here, and now I need to append both setup and delivery. But if I have a joke only, I'm going here and I'm gonna append only my joke. Is the idea clear so far what I'm doing here? I need to append it here because I have a condition. Because I have this element only here, I cannot access it outside. That's was the reason why I need to append it. And why I did append these two, because I want these two to be at the top. That's the reason why I append these two. Then I'm trying, if I have this one, I will append these two. But if I don't have this one, then I'm gonna append this one. Is the idea clear why I did append it here? Here, and here, and here. Yeah?
Cannot you put it
Yes.
into
Sorry?
cannot you put the append category type and the setup delivery together?
Yeah, but as you can see here, I have two elements here. I have one element here. Either I'm gonna give them the same name, but now I already give them different names, as you can see.
Okay.
So it will be better just to do this way.
Yeah.
Fine. So far, what do we have? Well, actually, what I can do here, I can return my container for now like that. We can see it, by the way. We can't see all the data, but we can see some data. Let's go to my code here, refresh, click. And as you can see, while I am seeing some stuff, as you can see. So I'm seeing this guy here, which will be the category, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's my category. I'm seeing my type, which is 2-part. I'm seeing the setup and delivery, which is great until now. If I click again now, as you can see, it append another joke here. Of course, I need to handle this one because I shouldn't see multiple jokes at the same time. But for now, we are just testing. It's fine. Let's do again. I'm hoping I will get a single joke. I'm hoping I will get a single joke. No. Let's try again. Maybe I get a single joke. 2-part, 2-part, 2-part. All of them are 2-part, really? Oh, yes, there are 2-parts, there are 2-parts, there are 2-part. And indeed, all of them are 2-part so far. Yeah, maybe I will be lucky here. No, 2-part still. Also 2-part. Also 2-part. Ah, that's annoying. Let's just add a lot of them and maybe I will be lucky and see one single part. Ah, well, I got single. And as you can see for the single as well, it's working fine. So I have a single and I have my joke here. So let me inspect this guy here. And as you can see for this one, it's working perfectly as well. So I have the type and then I have just the joke, as you can see. So as so far, it's working for the type. Everything is fine. We managed this one, which is great. So these 2-part here, it's fine. But now I need to deal with this one, these tags, and then I need to deal with the language and see if it's safe or not. And that should be the same idea here. It's not difficult, actually. So it will be the same process. Of course, I need to handle this one. I don't need multiple elements. It will be wrong to have multiple elements because as you can see in my code, I don't have multiple. I only have one at a time. And that's what should be, actually. And now, after that, we don't have any difference between a single joke or double joke. Why? Because the difference only come here, only. Other than that, we don't have any differences. Okay, fine. So now what do I need here? I need a flags. So this flag here, I need this flag here. So I need to create an order list with class flag, with ID flag. I'm gonna add it. And then I will receive, if I'm not mistaken, maybe array. Let's see here, my data. So that's my flag, as you can see. And then I have an object, actually. So I have explicit false, this one false, this politics, blah, 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 this stuff here. So it will be an object. So I need somehow to loop through this object. And for each one here, I need to create, what I'm creating here? Let's go to the element here. I need to create li with class either false or class either true. Okay. So the class here, if it's false, I just give it a class false, it will be like that, it will be greeny. But if the idea is true, now let's go again. Well, now as you can see, if it's true, it will be red like that. Well, fine. So let's try to create it. What should I create now? I need to create flags, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Flags with S. Flags with S, it will equal to document dot create element, and when we say our element, it will be an order list, right? Voila. Now what I need to do here I need to give it a class and I need to give it ID, same process. Voila. And now I need somehow to loop through the flags because it's an object, and for each key value, I need to create a li and append it to this element. So how can I loop through an object? Anyone has any idea? How can I loop through an object?
For each,
Yeah.
An object, not an array, an object. How can I loop through an object?
For
Is it for off or is it for in?
of.
For in, so I can use for in loop if I want to. So here I need to access my data. As you can see, I can use just this one for const, and I will have flag like that. Flag in joke data dot flags, joke data. dot flags. If I'm not mistaken, it was flag. Let's see. Let's go to the data again. So it is flags actually, as you can see, flags. And here flags. So I'm just name it one flag for const flag in joke data dot flag. So what should I do now? Well, what I need to do here, I can just say const li, it's equal to document dot create element, and here I can create my element, which will be li. But now what I need to do here, I think each flag has a class, if I'm not mistaken. So I need to add a class for each flag. So I will say li dot class name. And where is this class it will come? Where is this class it will come from?
Flag.
So it will, the class either it will be true or false, right? So I need to access the value here. But how can I access the value inside an object? I have the key. I have the key, that's my key. But I want the value. How can I get the value? Well, I can just say joke flags like that, bracket. And now here I can just say flag. That's how we access an object, really, right? So what I'm trying to do now here, joke data dot flags. If I say bracket flag, that will be my flag here. Either it will give me this one true or false. That will be the class name. Either it will be true or false. Yes, no. And here I can stringify it if I'm not mistaken. So I need to make it string because it will give me a Boolean actually. So maybe I can make it string because simply I'm planning to make it a class, so it will be a string. Better. Now I just need to add something else if I'm not mistaken. I need to add the inner text. Inner text, it will be the flag if I want. Let's see. And after that, of course, I need to append it to the LI here like that. Let's see if that will work or not. Refresh, click. No, it's not working. Why? Because I did not append it to the parent yet. So let's append it to the parent. Voila. And now here, go to mine, click. And voila, as you can see. Now it's working. Of course, the old here, this one here is adding religious false. I can do that, but I don't think it's a good idea to do it. It's a good idea just to mention this one here. I think it will be more user-friendly to use this one. So now here, if I inspect this one, notice what will happen. Click. And as you can see here, either I have false or either I have true, because I'm trying to access the value or inside these flags here. Is the idea clear? Cool? No? You want me to debug it?
Cool.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yes, well, let's debug it. Let's click on that and voila, there's a debug here. So what we are doing here for const flag, as you can see, I need to check my data first. So if I go to flags here, notice I have explicit false, NSFW, which I don't know what it is, false, political false, racist false, religious false, sexist false. So now I need to loop through each key here. How can I loop through each key? Well, in object, as you know, either we can use object.keys, we loop through them, or I can simply use the for in loop. Now, for in loop, it will loop through each one of them. Now, first time, as you can see, I have NSFW. And now here, let's go line by line, what will happen. So I'm creating my element. And after that, I will try, I think the confusion is here, if I'm not mistaken, right? So here, as you can see, I will access my joke here. I will access my flags, and I will say bracket NSFW. So if I say so here, it will give me the value of NS, whatever this one, and it will be either false or true. And now if I go to the NS stuff like that, it will give me false, as you can see. Voila, it will give me false. Now all of them are false. So now that's the first time it will just make inner text, and here this value, of course, it will be Boolean, by the way, because it's the value of it. So it's false or true. That's why I make it a string, because I won't need to make it a class. So I make it a string like that. Is it quite clear or not? Yes, no? Hello? Daria?
Yeah, it's clear.
Oh, I hope so. Imra, is it clear, Imra?
Not so much.
Not so much,
No.
but we studied object before.
Yeah, but the flag disturbed me for the inner here for the class name.
My data here, that's my old data. That's the object, okay? Inside
Mhm.
this object, I have another object called flags. Let me show you. Refresh. Get joke. Let's go to network. So as you can see, I have an object. That's my data. But inside this object, I have another object, which is called flags. So I need to say data.flags, and that's my object. Now I need to loop through each key value, I need to loop through all of those. How can I loop through? Well, you can use for in. Now for in here, each time I can say for one flag, in flags. If I say for one flag, it will give me the value of the key here. This one, the third time, this one, the fourth time, this one, because I'm looping, then this one, then this one. But if I want to access the value, how can I access the value? I need to say my object name, flags, bracket, the key, and it will give me the value. That's what we learn in object, right? Yes, no?
But, yes, but why on the demo the boolean didn't appear? It's green or red without the boolean.
Why it's green with the boolean here? If it's true, is
Yeah,
because I have.
there is not true or false.
I tell you why. Because I have a class for it, my friend.
Ah,
So as you can see, flags li is if it's false. Actually, if it's false, it will be green. If it's true, so all of them are here li. So I'm going inside the flags, which will be an order list. Then I'm going for each li. If it has a class true, see, if it has a class true, then as a background color, it will be red. But if it has class false, it will be green. That's the CSS. I'm doing that. Okay.
okay.
More clear?
Yes, yes, it is.
Good. We're
Thanks.
almost done. We're almost done. Now we are dealing with these guys here, which is good. I think we just have the language, if I'm not mistaken. Language and save only. This one and this one only. We need these two only. Now here, as I said, the language English, I'm gonna do the same, but save here, I'm not gonna do false or true. I'm gonna do here either green, the same idea, either green or this one. So if it's save is true, I will make it this one green. If the save is false, I'll make it red. So let's do the language as well. Let me just check the language, what it is first. Language is p tag and save also is a p tag. So I need to create two more elements and I am done. Where is it? Where is it? Voila. I don't need to append it now. I can append it at the end. So let's go here. Now here I just need language, right? Lang, which will be language. Const lang document.create element. It will be p tag. I can add just an ID. I can add a class, and after that I need to add inner text. And the inner text it will be lang. Do I have in my data something called lang? Just to make sure. Yes, I have lang. That's it. And here after that I just have save. I need to create something for save, and I should be done. So that should be okay. Now here I will just make save. Either save or not. I will just const save is p tag, same idea. I will add an ID, I will add a class, save. And I need to add another class. So depending on the value, if it's true, I need to give it another class. If not, so if it's save is true, I will give it a class. Let's say I will give it save. And if it's not true, I will give it a class no save. I will just now handle it. Just give me a second. And here, what should I do? Inner text, it will be the same. It will be no, it will be just save like that. So the inner text, it will only be save like that. Voila. Voila. And yeah, actually, I'm done here. All I need to do now, I need to add a first flags, then I need to add lang, and then I need to add save, and everything should be done now. For this one here, I need to add a little bit condition here. So I will just say if joke.save. If it's save, then I will add a class save. If it's not save, I will add a class not save. Voila, or unsave like that. So it's depending on this class here, either it will be green or it will be not green. So let's go to the CSS. And here I can just say language, yes, but that's not what I want to. If it's safe, in here, if it's not safe, so I need both of them actually. So one of them is safe and one of them it will be unsafe, because I created two different classes. And in here, maybe I can do the same here, add the same property as this one, and I can just say before, and then after that's it. Before, and here it will be before the same idea. It's just some styling. So if this one is safe, I want to be greeny. If it's safe. If it's not safe, I want it to be this one. Let's copy this one. And that should be fine. I don't think I need hide anymore. Okay, so let's go now to my website here, refresh, and hopefully it will work. So as you can see here, yeah, but the language, I don't want the language. Why the language is like that? Inspect. Why do I have something red here? Here's a language.
In CSS, the same style that you applied to save were applied to lang also.
You're right. I need to get rid of this one, lang. Okay, fine. Let me just add a different style for lang here. Let's just get rid of this one. And here, let's just, I don't know, let's just add a font size. Font size. Or font family. What good font family we have? I think there is one here called cursive is nice. Okay, that should be fine now. Let's refresh. Click, and voila, now the language is English. And if it's safe here, as if everything is here, as you can see, if it's safe, it will show as a green. If it's not safe, if I try again, everything now is safe. Click again. Now it's when it's not safe, as you can see, if I have any red flag here, it will show me as not safe, and this one, it will be red. But the language is small. I need to make it a little bit big. Font size, let's make it font size, let's make it 3. No, 2 rem, it will be big, but let's try. Okay, save. Oh, yeah, something like that. And now my job, actually, it's done. Now,
But
as you...
Samir,
Yes.
when it's unsafe, it's red, but it's still written safe. Could you get the joke, another one, and wait for the red one? Because the still inner text is safe and not safe.
But Agnieszka,
Uh-huh.
I think of it here. If now save, it's green, that means it is safe. So all the time, the text still as it is. Now save green means that means it's safe. But when it's red, that means it's not safe.
Aha, okay, like that.
Get my point.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's just like that all the time. Political stay as it is. The change not. But what it changed, this is when it changed here. If it's green, it's good. If it's red, that means it's not good. Same idea here. Okay.
Okay.
That's perfect. Now the problem is the problem I'm having now is my code is perfect. Everything is fine. The only problem I have, as you can see, when every time I click here, I have another joke. Every time I click here, I have another joke, and that's not what I want to. I want to find a way to update my joke. Of course, there is an easy, dirty solution for that, and there is good solution for that. So it's 1010. I'll show you first the ugly solution, and then I will show you the good solution. Fine, and now everything is here. My component function is fine. Of course, it is really big. What I can do here, I can take this one and create another component function if I want to. I'm not gonna do that for now. I will keep it just this one like that. Fine. Now, how can I manage the empty, where is it? It was in the handler. How can I manage that? How can I manage this stuff here? I want it to be, how can I say it? If it is, I want all the time to have one job. So the easiest solution, it will be actually here to just go to the DOM.root inner HTML and empty it, and then append the job. Of course, that's a dirty solution. Now, if I go back to my job now, I refresh it. Let me get rid of this one. I don't need it anymore. And here, I don't need it anymore. If I click on this one, notice now I have one job, which is okay, but it's not the best solution. And as you can see, each time I click it here, this root is being empty. Why it's being empty? Because here in my code, I am emptying the root inner HTML, all the HTML inside it, I'm emptying it. Then I'm appending the joke, as you can see. That's okay. For now, that's dirty solution. Of course, as I told you, everything is working for me now. Well, as you can see.
Samir, what about if every time we click, after we click, the browser refreshes? Is that also a dirty solution?
Yeah, but it's not refreshing because the type of my bottom, which is the type of the bottom is not submit, and I'm not inside a form.
Okay.
If the type of the bottom is submit, then that's what will happen, and you are inside the form. But I'm not in line. No, the type of my bottom is just a bottom. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, as you can see, my joke is working fine. Two part. Why should you never talk to pi? Because I will go on forever. Yeah, that means all the time you need to talk with the pi. But now maybe what we can do, we can just style these
But
two.
Samir, I have a question because this joke, so now it's like it's and religious and political and explicit and racist and sexist, all of them, it shouldn't be false, like more the false and only one green or something.
Yes, they are false, but when they are false, that means so all of them are false, as you can see. But
So it should be red, not green.
oh, false, that means they are safe. Do you understand what I mean?
But safe is the last line, and here is like if it's green, so like for example, if the religious is green, so the joke is religious. But if it's red, so it's not religious. Yeah.
No, I think if in my approach, if you want to color it this way, I don't have a problem, Agnieszka. It's totally up to you. But for me, if this one is green, that means they are safe. That's what I understand. So if this one is green, it's not a problem. Safe, safe, safe. That means all of them are false. But when they are red, it just give me, okay, now they have a problem here. That's what I, at least in my point of view.
Because like for me, false is red and true is green. It's like natural.
Well, you can, if you that's
Yeah.
what you want to, you can just modify the class and it will do
Uh-huh.
it for me. I prefer all of them are green, them and they're good. If I see any red of them, that's bad. Okay. But and I don't know, it's really up to you. That's my design. You can create your own design, huh?
Okay.
Okay, guys, now I've shown you the dirty solution. Let's take a short break because I feel my head is gonna split into two. So we'll take short break, and after that, I will come and I show you the other solution because emptying the HTML is not a good approach. So, okay, again, here I'm just checking if my container, job container, and of course, when I select the job container, it will include all the elements inside it. So I'm checking if it exists, document.getElement by ID. It will check if it exists on the DOM. Now, if it exists, I do not really need to create it again. I just need to update it. And that's the reason why I created this component function, which is called update joke. So I will pass my DOM. I will pass my new data. And now here I need to insert the new data inside the DOM. I don't need to create a lot of DOM element. I just need to update them. But if the joke DOM it does not exist, then I need to create it and I need to append it. This way, I'm not creating it multiple times, I'm just creating it only one time. Okay, let's go to update joke now. And now here in update joke, what I can do here, I can say joke DOM. Remember the joke DOM here, it will be the container for everything. So maybe I can get here my other method here, voila. Because here, depending on the ID, I can access them or not, or depending on the class here. So joke DOM, that will be the container here. Now, what do I want to access first? Well, I want to access the category. Why? Because I need to update the category, as you can see. So how can I access the category? Can anyone tell me how can I access the category? How can I? So I have my container, that's my container, as you can see. And I want to access the category. How can I access the category?
So query selector.
Yeah, why not get them get element by ID? You are right, by why? Why I can
Because query selector, we select all, and the ID, we take only the ID.
no.
No?
It's
No.
like the get ID, it doesn't work on DOM. Something like
Works only on the document.
that. Okay. Yeah.
Get element by ID. This method only exists on the document. I told you that before. But this is not my whole page. This is only part of my page. This is only a div, this div here. So if I want to select any element inside it, I have to use query selector. I have no other choice. Okay? I have to use query selector. Voila. Queries look like it's not correct. Query selector. And now, of course, I can access the category. Why? Because it has a class called category. I can use the ID as well if I want to, huh? So here, just I'm selecting it, as you can see, dot category. I'm saying it a class. So inner text here, it will be the new data, joke data dot category. Voila. That's the first one. Assigned to property. Don't worry about that. So now, as you can see here, that's my parent element. That's my container. I'm using query selector. I cannot use get element by ID because get element by ID does not exist in all DOM element. It's only exists on the document, which means the whole page. But query selector does exist on any DOM element. So I'll say joke DOM, that will be my container. Query selector, select what? I want to select the category. I can use the ID or I can use the class. It depends on me. I'm going to use the class dot category. And I want to change the inner text to joke data dot category. And that will be my new category. That's nice, right? So here I didn't have to create a new category. I just update it. That's it. Is it okay?
Yes.
And here I will just name it update category. So it will be clear for you. Now I've updated the category, but I need to update the type, right? Because I need to update the type as well. So how can I update the type? Well, it's the same idea exactly. Update type. Voila, same idea. I have a class called type, so I will just say joke DOM, the query selector. Now notice something. Everything, all of those exist on the container. So all of those elements that are inside the joke DOM. If they are not inside it, I cannot select it, huh? So the joke DOM actually it's this container here. And as you can see, I append everything inside it. So everything inside this container. That's the reason why I'm saying query selector, because it is one of its children. Either its children or grandchildren, it does exist inside it. Is it okay? Yes, no?
Yes.
Nice. Now I've updated the type. Let's try to test it. See if it's working or not. Click. But actually, see, this one is changing, huh? See? Those guy here is changing if you notice. So let's go to inspect. And let's go to the category and type. So that's my category. And that's my type. Notice if they will change or not. Actually, they are changing, right? Are they changing these two or not?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's what I want to. And here, as you notice here, again, to go back to your question, which is an important question, why I did not just empty it and create a new one? Because as you can see here, I don't have to create a new element. Creating a new element consumes time and memory. It's not efficient. Now, when I have to create, I need to create. But when I don't have to, I shouldn't create. I just need to update. That's it. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Now, of course, as I told you, there is difference between two jokes here. What is it? Yeah, if I have a single joke and I have a double joke, they are different, right? Because if I have two parts, I will have setup, and I will have delivery or delivery. I will have these two. But if the joke is single, I will just have this. I will just have only joke, one joke only, right? So how can I deal with this situation? Because they are not the same here. So what I need to do here also, I need to check. What do I need to do? I need to check.
Check the type, if it's two-part or not.
Exactly. So if the check, so what I can do here, I can just say if, where is my data? Joke data, right? Joke data dot type. If the type is two-part, like that, then I need now to update the setup and the delivery or whatever here. But if it's not, I just need to update the joke, if you remember, right? And here else, voila. Voila. So as you can see, let's go here again. So depending on the type, what I'm doing, I'm creating two elements here, setup and delivery. But if it is not two-part, I'm just creating one element. So here also I need to, if it's two parts, then now what I need to do, I need to update both. But if it's one single, then I need to only update the joke. And that's what I need to do. Okay, if that's the case, then I need to also now, I need to update setup. It does make sense so far, right? Yes, no? And voila. So I'll just say joke DOM.query selector.setup because it has a class called setup, as you can see. And inner text, I will just update it like that, which is good. Other than that, if it's delivery, so delivery, same idea. It has a class called delivery, as you can see. And I just need to update it. But if it's not this one or this one, I need to update joke. I name it joke, just joke. I just need to update joke, same idea. Query selector, I'm accessing the joke. Why? Because it has a class called joke, and I need just to update it. Voila. Now let's go and test it again. Click. Notice now all of those should change now. Those will not change for now because I did not update it yet, but notice. See? They are changing, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
And of course, if I go to my DOM here and I click, notice that just the text is being updated. All of them has been updated, as you can see. And that's great. Now, what should I do here now? Now here I need to update those, update the language and update save, just like I did in my stuff here. So let's go here, the flags here. Of course, for the flag, as you can see here, I have an order list. I can select it. And what I need to do here, I need to loop through all these guys again and create the same element again and again, unfortunately. So in this case, I have no other choice. I need to repeat this part. A good solution, it will be actually to put this one in separate component function to reuse it again, but I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to go through this one. And now I need to update flags, update lang, and update save, and I should be good.
Can we create a function with this, and after that call the function here and there?
Yes, of course. So we can create a function, a component function, which will create an LI for me. Just LI, and then after that I can use it here, use it here, use it whenever I want to. That's the idea of the function. We create function to reuse them whenever we need them. Okay. So, okay, now I need to update the flags here. First, I need to grab the flag, of course, right? So what I need to do here, I can just say, I need to select the flags. How can I select the flags? Well, that's my flags. Joke DOM.query selector flags. Why flags? Because it has a class called flags, as you can see. Remember, the flags is an order list, as you can see. So now what I need to do really, I need to somehow empty all the LI belong to it. Why? Well, because simply now I need to live again through the data here. I cannot update them because this guy are a little bit different. Well, actually, maybe I can update them. Let's see. For each one here, I have a joke flag. I have a flag. It does not have any class name. Actually, it has a class name. String, that's a flag. No, the class name, it will just be true or false. So I cannot really update them. Well, let me do something. I'm gonna create a new component function, and this component function, it will only create an li for me. Only li. So here maybe I can say create. What should we name it if we want to create li? Create item maybe? Create item.js. And now here, let's name it const.
Create flag item. Create flag item so that it's more precise.
Yeah, it will be okay. It's possible as well. Yeah, it's possible as well. And here in create item, I will receive. What do I need here? I will need the flag. So I need just text actually. No, I will need the class name. I will need. Yeah, I need to pass the flag itself. I have no other choice. I need to pass the flag. I'm thinking, just give me a second.
We need flag data.
Yeah, I get it, but flag data. I'm thinking of something else. And in flag data here, I need to create, just a second. Let me export it now, exp, create item. And now here what I need to take this guy here, all of it, cut it. So it shouldn't actually, yeah, maybe I can cut that, all of that, and put it here. Okay, fine. Now I need flag data, and here in flag data, I need to pass an object. Instead of doing this one, I can just pass here flag data dot class. Let's name it, no, let's name it value. Value, and here let's name the flag here, it will be the key. And after that, what do I need to do? I need to return my, I cannot append it, I'm gonna just return my li. Return li. That should be fine. Here it will be flag data dot key. Now, of course, you are wondering why I'm spending all this time creating this function, because now I'm gonna modify this one here, and I need to use the same function here in both update and create. So it will be actually a good practice to not repeat myself. But how can I not repeat myself? Well, to not repeat myself here, what I can do, I can just say here, now I am inside the loop, so I can just say const flag data, because I need to create an object really. Flag data, now I need to pass the key. So I can name this one key. And the key, of course, it will be the flag. And the value, it will be as you can see here. So I'm just saving the key and the value. And now this data here, I need to pass it in this function. So let's import our create item here. Import create item. And edit.js. Voila. And now each time I'm looping, I need to create my item. Let's go here. That's my data, so I can just say const item DOM. It's equal to this one, and I need to pass my data, but of course this one need to be item DOM like that. Remember, it's returning li, so it will be item DOM. Now I need to append it inside the flags, and all that should be good now. So what I did here, I just separate this li alone because I will need to use it also in update. So what I'm doing here, for each flag inside my object flags, I'm created my data. That's the key, which will be the flag here. And that's the value, which will be true or false. And I can grab it from job data.flag bracket flag. After I get my data, which is an object, I'm passing it to this function. This function, it will create li for me. and it will add the value, it will add the key, it will add everything, then it will return me li, and then here I'm just appending my li. Now, if I go to my stuff here, it should not affect anything. And as you can see, it's not affecting anything actually. It's still working perfectly. But now I can use this function also in update. So let's go to update. And now here I can use the same function again. So let's import. It was create item if I'm not mistaken. Voila. So what I can do here, I'm grabbing the UL, so I don't have to create the UL again, but I need to repeat this code here. This code here, I need to repeat it here. Exactly. So I'm saying here for const flag in joke data dot flags, because I have a flag. Then I have my data. Then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to item DOM, which is create item. It will create the item for me, and then it will append it here. That should be okay, I suppose, but I need to do something actually here. I need to empty. Unfortunately, here I have no other choice. I need to empty the inner text for the UL. So, or the LI before I need to empty it, and then I need to create the other one. That should be fine. Did you understand this one? Yes, no? Hello?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, but if we is it possible to add a for loop inside the create item?
No, because if I add a loop inside create item, now create item, well, what I can do, I can create the whole unordered list inside it if I want to.
Yeah,
Start creating an item, I can create the whole list. And it is possible, yes, I can do that.
yeah.
You want me to do that?
Because we are using for in loop 2 times, right? That's
Yeah.
why.
I do agree with you. So let's name it here flags data. And here, let's see. But the problem here, it will create, for my update here, I don't need, Diniando. In this one here, I don't need to create an order list. That's the problem. So here I need to create it. Here I don't need to create it because it already exists. I need to create the LI.
Yeah, you are right.
So it should be like that here. Fine. Now we update our flags. Now I just need to update the lang and save, and we are done. That's it. So let's try to go and update the lang. I'll update the lang. It should be super simple. As you can see, just one line here, joke.querySelector.lang, because it has a class lang. And I will just update this one. That should be fine. The other one, save or unsave, joke.save to here add a class save or a class unsave. So I need also to know if the class is, here I don't need to update the inner text. In save or unsave, I don't need to update the inner text because the inner text for both of them is the same. But what I need to update the class here. Either I need to add class save or unsave. Did you get my point? Yes, no? So if I go back to here, this save here, this text is never gonna change. But is what you're gonna change is this one here. I need, so depending on this one, because what is given the green or red, it's the class. So what I need to do here, I need to check if the joke is safe. If it's safe, I will check if it has a class save. I will not add it. If it does not have a class save, I need to add it. Do you get my point? Or no? Update save. Yes, no? So save element, what it is, it has a class called save or unsave. No, that's not what I want. I need to check if the joke is saved or not. How can I check if this joke is saved or not? Hello?
Using joke data.
Yeah, I can just say if joke data dot save. That means it is saved, right?
Yeah.
If it's saved, what did I add? I add a class save. So what I need to do here, actually, I need to make the class. So what I can do, I can just say class name. Class name, it's equal to save. Okay, but what if it's not save? Well, I need to update the class again. And it will be joke DOM class here, it will be unsafe. Not safe, unsafe, voila. And voila. I think the joke when it's save or not, it has one class if I'm not mistaken. So it has one class, I will check. If the joke is save, well, I need to make the class here, as you can see, save. If it's not save, I need to update the class and make it unsafe. And as you can see here, guys, when I click on this one, everything is being updated. It's unsafe. And I don't have to create everything again. No, I'm just updating it. The only thing I'm updating it, unfortunately, is those guys here. That's the only thing I am updating. The rest is okay. Of course, my code like that, it's much more performance comparing to create a new one.
But the safe is not changing, it's all the time red.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let's see, because all of them are green now. If one of them become green, it will change. See?
Yeah, but the safe is all the time red.
Let's check. Class unsafe. And here, actually, the class is unsafe. Class unsafe, it should be green, right?
Maybe let's go to VS Code.
Yeah, just a second, the class is not changing. That's bad. Yeah, because what I'm doing here, if the joke is saved, it will be saved. But if the joke is, my mistake, sorry. So if the joke is saved, I will try to access the save and then add class save. But here, if the joke is unsafe, so this one should be unsave, like that. Because if the joke is not safe, I will try to access the save here.
And on the line 39, it shouldn't be lowercase safe? Or it doesn't matter?
No, just a second. The element has, this element has an ID, right? This element has an ID, right? It's called save the ID. So what I can do, instead of doing just all this nonsense, I can just do the same here. Save, and that should work now. Why? Because all the time I'm selecting the element by ID, and now depend. If the joke is saved, I will just make the class name save. If the joke is not saved, it will be unsafe, and that should be good. Click, and now it should save, right?
Now, because the name, there was a capital S on safe.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Now it should be great. Click, and it's changing. Happy now? Yeah, it should change actually. Okay, let's go to this one. Let's go to this one. And here now it's unsafe. Yes, it is unsafe, true. Yes, unsafe, 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 unsafe. So it's okay. All of them are safe and it's changing. Good, great. Yep. So when all of them are red, that means none of them, it will be safe. Other than that, well, as you can see, it will become green. And it's functioned perfectly, as you can see. Cool. Let me stop sharing my screen.